Hey everybody, this is John. Welcome to the free video. I am back from Africa. I got a couple of photos here I'll show you. It was an amazing trip, highly recommended. Kids on safari and stuff like that too. As I come back to the markets now, because I've been flat, I did have my first session in the room today and took on a few positions, which was fun. The main things I'm looking at here are the cues. While I was traveling, which always happens, we essentially fell. And I missed all that because I was flat. And now we're getting a little bit of a kind of a kickback rally into the zone. And so the question is what happens now? Well, if we look at the futures on this, and keep in mind that the market is an equal opportunity dream killer, right? So, you know, if you're super bullish, then while I was on vacation, you might have gotten your dreams destroyed. But then for people who got super bearish here, or they've been bearish but didn't trail their stops, now their dreams are getting destroyed. And so the question is over the next day or two, what move would cause the most pain? And I think at this point, the move that's going to cause the most pain would be the NASDAQ at least continuing to rally a little bit, maybe to the 618 retracement, okay? Cause short some more pain, maybe a spike up. But keep in mind, we've got kind of a head and shoulders pattern forming here, although now that we're above the neckline, it's a false pattern, just FYI. So, again, equal opportunity dream killer. So the two longs I like here, Alibaba, this is one I picked up in the room today. I like this for a target, potentially up to that tree line. We bought some longer term, not long, for me, longer term. I think the options are like 38 days out with kind of a run into earnings. And then the other one I like is Vive. So these are my two favorite long trades. And, Vive is kind of on its own planet. Obviously, Baba, a little bit more market sensitive. And then on the downside, I have not taken any positions yet. But what I'm looking at are stocks that have been, that are in a downtrend. AutoZone, that's a downtrend. I mean, a trend is your friend until it ends, right? So I don't have that one. If we could rally back up to the tree line at 531, I'd get interested. What about TLT? This is forming a nice little wedge here. We're down here, and now we got like a little bit of a hockey stick. That usually continues as a continuation pattern, okay? And then also we've got, this is the week before monthly expiration. Typically there's some volatility, although we had a lot of that volatility while I was gone in Africa, okay? So speaking of Africa, all right, so a couple quick photos, and then we'll look at one more stock. This was one of the safari lodges we went to. So one of the rules here literally was, like, if you're swimming in the pool and the elephants come up to the pool to drink, you got to get out of the pool. So that was pretty awesome. You can see this whole herd of elephants here. This is just this was the hotel where we stayed at in Johannesburg, Melrose Arch. That was pretty fun. That's my daughter trying to beat off the jet lag. At one point we were looking for hippos, but we had, these things start at 5:30 in the morning, so my youngest son was fast asleep when we found the hippos, so he missed it. The coolest thing, though, I mean, of course, the lions were awesome. I also like it. It looked a lot like Texas, and it's winter, of course, in South Africa. But you'd just be sitting there, and 10, 15 feet away from the truck, you're looking at this normal thing, and there's these huge lions. These guys were getting busy with it and doing a lot of activity and resting in between, so that was entertaining as well. And then this is the other lodge we stayed at. This is Ulusaba. Which is amazing. You're up here in this rock lodge and you can look down and just kind of see everything. And in the morning you go down and do the game drives. I did get an opportunity to do a selfie with an elephant, which I believe is called an Elfie. And I think that's good. And so the last thing I wanted to show you is Tesla. I had a lot of questions about that today. We did have a nice trade in it this morning, just looking for this initial gap fill. And we did fill that gap. Now, Tesla may well take off here. Remember, you had that convertible note, all that kind of stuff. So you had this flush. Now is it ready to, come back up and resume its rally? I don't know. I'm willing to day trade this thing, but I'm not going to hold it overnight. It's been so... just the overnight gaps have been very unpredictable, but we can see at this point there's been a little bit of a floor in it. So again, the market's an equal opportunity dream killer. Whoever bought it here cried here when they got out. Whoever shorted it here, it's their turn to cry a little bit. So I'm looking for a little bit more upside, and then we'll see if this thing rolls over again. All right, that's what we got. You guys have a good one, And it's good to be back in the saddle, and we'll see you at the next update.